He's currently the lead singer of the Ricky Minor Band on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. So I want to bring out Mr. Dorian Holley.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You know, it's funny. I watched this in this very theater, and me and my wife and my youngest daughter Olivia were here. Can you hear me? Okay. And while we were waiting for it to start, my wife stood up and said, "Excuse me, everybody. My husband Dorian Holley is Michael Jackson's wife." And I was so embarrassed.
No, proud.
I sank down into the seat, and it was like, you don't have a good feeling, a bad feeling all at the same time. Well, I'm really happy to be here. Obviously, it's an amazing thing when you can share MJ. I'm gonna do me a favor and hold your cameras.
Sure.
Sorry.
Sorry.
And when I finish, I'm going to say, okay, take your pictures now. So everybody take your exactly. Here we go. So I first met Michael in 1987. I was earning a living on the telephone.
Your seat is free.
Selling advertising for Martin Luther King's organization. He had a magazine. It was a equal opportunity magazine. And I got up at 4 o'clock every morning and drove from Cerritos to mid-city Los Angeles to get on the phone to call back east. To the middle of the country, and sometimes when I got to work late, my sales manager would lock the door. The people who didn't make it to work at 6 o'clock had to stand out in the parking lot in the dark listening to the birds stop singing. I met Daryl Finnessy, who you know sang with. I met Daryl in January of 1987, and after we sang together, he promised that he called my job driving the bus. So he said, after we met, he said, "You're not going to be driving the bus much longer." A couple of months after that, so Daryl and Philip Ingram, who's the brother of James Ingram, started calling me for demos. When they didn't want to do something, they would say, "Call Dorian, he'll do it." So I started doing work that they were getting too big to do. And a couple of months after that, he called me to sing on a Stevie Wonder album. And then that June, he called me and asked me if I wanted to audition for Michael Jackson's tour. Now, I had just read in the Times that Michael Jackson's tour was going to be going out for a year. Nayana, my eldest daughter, was just born. She was 1. And I said, no, I can't do it. Because in my mind, you go out on tour for a year and you come back a year later. So I hung up. So I said, thanks for the call. I can't do it. I hung up the phone. And Nana's mother, my first wife, she looked at me and she said, "Are you out of your mind?" I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I can't leave for a year. We just had a baby, and She said, "Well, maybe it doesn't mean a full year. Maybe it means you'll go out for a month and come home. Maybe it'll be enough money that me and the baby can come and fly out and fly back and all of that." So I said, "Oh, that makes sense." So I called him back and I said, "If you haven't found everybody, if you haven't filled all the positions, yes, I'd like to do it." So we went over to Daryl's house the next morning, Monday morning, me and Cheryl Crow and Kevin Dorsey, and we got in my car and we went to the record store. I know most of you don't know what record stores are. We went to the record store and we bought some Michael albums. We went back to Daryl's house, and all day long we worked out Michael's harmonies. Now the thing about Michael's harmonies, if you're a true Michael Jackson fan, you know this. Michael sang all of his background vocals, but they weren't your typical background vocals. Michael, he would sing, he would put percussion in between, he would put breaths in, he would put stops, he would put glottal attacks. So one line could have 7 different kinds of things going on. And he liked his background vocals way up front. They weren't background vocals, they were all lead vocals. So we drilled that stuff, and fortunately for us, Daryl is the kind of musician that I am. He likes to work hard and he leaves no detail. Every single detail is important. He works on them all. So we drilled the stuff. So we finished at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and we drove across town to what used to be called Zoetrope Studios. It's got a new name now. it's different. And I always forget what the new name is because I think of it as the first place where the name of it, the first time I went to it. But Francis Coppola owned it at the time. It was his production studio. We drove over there. We auditioned. Nelson Hayes put us on tape. When we went home, he called us at midnight and said, "You got the job." Oh. Now, they had auditioned 400 people in town, and all of the best singers. And all of them hated our guts for many years because they thought that we had robbed. Nobody knew who I was because obviously I wasn't in the business. I was driving a bus, as Daryl called it. And they wanted to know how we did it. I'll tell you how we did it. What they were doing was they called these massive auditions, and they put people together, and they expected them to go in a room and sort out the songs that they wanted to do. But what Michael needed was people who sang together and who were together as a group. And since we put our own group together, we had time to really shed it and make it what it was supposed to be. And that was how we got the gig. Okay, so I'm running out of time. You're not going to take pictures yet. I'm going to tell you, I'd like to give you some advice, even though you didn't ask for it.
Bring it.
What we have is the gift of life. Michael is gone, and our hearts are torn apart about that because we know that he died too soon. What I want you to do, though, what Michael would want all of us to do is he would want us to live and to carry on. So I want you guys to come out of your basements, come out of your rooms, come out of your tiny rooms, and I want you to go after that thing that's important to you, that thing that means something to you, that thing that will give something to the world, because what Michael gave us everything that he had to give. Kim just asked me what was my favorite thing about Michael. It took me about 5 minutes to think of it. My favorite thing about Michael is that he worked as hard at the end as he did at the beginning. He was always working to be the best. You've seen it. You've seen Bad 25. You saw him always working to bring something new, to bring something hard, to do his best, to be the best. And he ended up being the king of pop. So I want you guys to be the queen of apps, and the king of tech, and the queen of art, and the king of teaching mathematics, and the queen of Bible class, and the king of the Salvation Army, the queen of getting food together for the homeless, and the king of neighborhood watch group, whatever it is, whether you're leading a praise and worship group at your church, or whether you're writing songs for yourself as an artist, I want each of us to make a vow to be as good as Michael Jackson was and will always be, because nobody will ever top him. Do we all agree on that? I want all of us to go out here tonight after watching This Is It for the 47th time, to go out and be the best that you can be. Hey, be the best husband, be the best wife, be the best father, be the best mother, be the best cousin, be the best niece,
Friend.
be the best friend, be the best teacher, be the best, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that is Uncle Dorian's sermon for this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I love you guys.
Thank you.
I got some music coming up. I'll have Michael put some Facebook notices up. And if you want to contact me, DorianHolley.com, my email's right there. Send me a note and just say, I love Michael as much as you do. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Welcome to ArcLight Cinemas Hollywood Historic Cinerama Dome. There it is. I found it. For tonight's presentation of This Is It.